The budget is behind us. While it did not have much to offer home buyers in terms of tax cuts, the thrust on affordable housing and credit subvention, along with reduction in GST rate for affordable housing, is pretty good news for you, the first-time home buyer. Hello and welcome. I'm Anisha Natarajan, and today on the show, we'll not only cull out top buys for you in property, we'll also decode these GST changes. Joining me, Sameer Jasuja of PropEquity. Sameer, welcome to the show.
Always a pleasure being here, Manisha.
All right, let's tell our viewers what are the markets we will be covering with you, Sameer. There's Bengaluru, specifically Singasandra in 65 lakh rupees budget. Then, of course, we also have a hold or sell question on Crossing Republics in Ghaziabad. And in case you would like to switch, we will also give you a view of New Gurugram. That's, of course, the NCR market in terms of what are some of the mid-priced homes or properties there. Thane Ghorbandar, again, this market is a well-received market. Lots of questions, 65 lakh rupees. What are your top picks? We also take you to East Kolkata, Rajpur. Budget here is just, hold your breath, 15 to 20 lakh rupees. Truly what's called an affordable home. Navi Mumbai is also on our list today. Ulve will be surveyed for top picks in a budget of 40 lakh rupees. And let's dive in straight to our first caller. Kishore from Bangalore is on the phone line with us. Mr. Kishore, thank you very much for joining us on FTHB. How can we help you, sir?
Hello, ma'am. Good to talk to you. Actually, I have shortlisted a property in Bangalore that is called Pioneer Kingston. It is situated in Singasandra, Kudlugate, Bangalore. So I just wanted to know what is like a fair market price over there, and what is like a future developments over there in that particular area, and is there any other projects also which we can like look at it in that particular area. So the property what I have seen is the Pioneer Kingston from Pioneer Builders, Bangalore.
All right. So Pioneer Kingston project, Singasandra, is a market that we haven't reviewed before, Sameer. So what do you think? Tell all our viewers a little bit about this market, because I was quite surprised to see that it's an undersupply market in Bengaluru. So seems like it probably has a reasonable outlook going forward.
You're right, Manisha. This micro market is actually located on Hosu Road itself, and it's about 6 kilometers away from Electronic City today, where there are about 200 plus software companies working out of Electronic City, thus generating a lot of employment and creating a lot of opportunities for home buyers in and around this region. It's only 6 kilometers away. Typically, it caters to the mid segment, and the existing tenancy profile over there is, as I mentioned, the IT segment. As such, it's an undersupplied market where only about 20 odd projects have come over the last 4 or 5 years, and this micro market is got a lot of old independent homes from before. So a secondary market nature, undersupplied, has appreciated 4% year on year even in the worst times. Rating is 6 because it has some 3 or 4 good hospitals as well as 5 good schools over here as well. So like I mentioned, it's a complete secondary market in every which way, with decent social infrastructure and employment generation opportunity in and around as well. Coming to your choice, Pioneer Kingstown, you can go ahead with. It's trading at 4,500 rupees a square foot, although I'd like to mention that the weighted average price of the market over here is about 4,000 rupees, 3,900 to 4,000 rupees a square foot. But this is a premium project and a better project, so the price point over here seems to be very comfortable. It's getting ready in 2020. We've got 2 more projects shortlisted for you, which are getting ready this year itself, and the price points are the same. So should you want to move in earlier and want to consider these 2 projects as well before you make your final choice, you can go ahead. The second option is Sri Tirumala by Amigo Shelters. This project is getting ready this year, available with the developer. The bedroom sizes are slightly larger because the flat is about 200 square feet more in the 3-bedroom range. And lastly, we have Yuva Ika by Yuva Infra Builders. This project is also getting ready this year itself, and the square footage is roughly similar to the project that you've shortlisted of the apartment.
I can see, Sameer, there's a lot of difference. So the first 2 projects, Pioneer and Sri Tirumala, are 4,500, and suddenly Yuva Eka is at 3,800 rupees per square foot. So that's a 15% difference. Should the buyer, which is Kishore, go ahead and negotiate with other builders and try and at least get 5 to 8% knocked off?
Manisha, that's a given in any micro market today, that in the primary market, you must go and negotiate. Developers can offer you good discounts in most of the projects, I would say, especially that in today's market, you also have GST on the end customer, which is an added burden. So developers are recognizing that and offering some kind of a compensation against that as well. So most definitely for all projects, even for the 3,900 rupees square feet project, you should go and negotiate.
All right, Kishore. So here's the recommendation. Go ahead, negotiate. The one that you've shortlisted gets a go-ahead from PropEquity, which is Pioneer Kingstown by Pioneer Developers. Will be ready in 2020. But then if you're looking at moving in earlier and saving some rent, there are two more recommendations from you. Sri Tirumala Sarova by Amigo Shelters and Yuva Eka by Yuva Infra Builders. All right. I hope you found that useful, and let's now get our next caller. Mr. Benz is on the phone line. Mr. Benz, hi. Thank you so much for joining us. How can we help you, sir?
Yeah, good afternoon. This is, I bought a flat in 2010 in Ghaziabad in Crossings, Aznara Genex,
Right.
3-bedroom. Actually, there is a connectivity issue there because I'm not satisfied with that. I want to dispose of and buy in Gurgaon in some suitable area.
All right.
So I want to dispose that and what price I can get for a 3 BHK as Nara Genex.
All right, Mr. Benz.
1800 square feet, and I want to buy a 2 BHK Gurgaon.
All right, so let's first get to the Crossing Republic question. Sameer, this is one of the markets that came up many times in recommendations, but then it seems that, connectivity is becoming an issue. Mr. Ben seems to have made money on it. I mean, even in a down cycle, I think he's made some reasonable gains. So take it forward. What he wants to sell, so what should he buy in NCR, in Gurugram?
Manisha, first of all, I'd like to mention here that it is actually a good decision to sell in Crossing Republic now because, that's a completely affordable to lower mid-market, and the kind of price point it's achieved now, price points are not going to appreciate any more in an affordable market beyond 3,000 rupees a square foot, which is this property is at that price point right now. And there is an oversupply situation in that whole area. So he's made a reasonably decent return. A compounded annual growth rate of about 6% is not bad at all. And New Gurgaon is kind of bottomed out, and there are actual end user families that are moving in there. So it's a very wise decision, I would say, for anybody to exit Crossings and buy New Gurgaon now. So coming to New Gurgaon, right now the location rating is 5.5 and it's adequately supplied because social infrastructure really has to catch up, although there is a lot of effort being made and it will translate into real good social infrastructure in the next 3 to 4 years, but you'll have to wait for that a little bit. Because your budget is a constraint, that's why we're recommending 2 projects in New Gurgaon which match your budget. There are, of course, if you can extend your budget, many better projects and ready projects also available in New Gurgaon that you would like to consider before you make that final decision. The decision is yours, you'll have to up your budget then. Carnation Residency by Oris Infrastructure is the first recommendation. This project's been ready since 2015, trading at about 4,000 to 4,200 rupees a square foot. There's occupancy here. Ansal's Height by Ansal's Housing is a project in Sector 86. This project is just being handed over. Partial handover has started and the balance project will be ready within this year itself. It's available at a very low discounted price of about 3,500 rupees a square foot. So it's a reasonably good price. Any of these 2 projects you can consider, but my recommendation would be that if you're making that final decision, up your budget and you will get projects like New Town Heights, which is livable. It's a DLF project and it's an attractive location as well now.
All right, so good recommendation coming there from Sameer. He's saying sell Crossing Republics, and I like that logic, Mr. Benz, that if you're buying into a low-cost market, once it rises up and stops being low cost, then the appreciation going forward may not be that strong. So it's a good decision. I'm sure you made up your mind on that, and rightly so. Here are 2 projects in NCR, but New Gurugram to be specific. In your budget of 60 lakhs, Carnation Residency by Oris Infrastructure and Ansal Heights by Ansal Housing. And of course, if you can up that budget, then New Town by DLF is also on that recommendation list. Okay, Suman Chakrabarti is with us on the phone line from Mumbai. Hi, Suman. Good to have you with us. Go ahead. How can we help you?
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. Yeah, I want one small information. I was actually looking at this property, Lodha Amara in Thane, for a 1 BHK apartment.
Okay.
Now, I've actually got recently shifted to Mumbai. I'm actually from Kolkata, recently got transferred to Mumbai. I intend to buy this 1 BHK property in Lodha Amara, but I have an intention of probably selling it off, say, around 6 to 7 years' time. So I wanted to understand, like, what kind of growth prospects can I expect in this property, say, from another 6 to 7 years from now?
All right. Okay. Samir, so he shifted, and of course he wants to buy something in Ghorbandar Road and shortlisted a project there as well. What is the potential of this market if he buys into it? Because Mumbai seems to be, in fact, out of all top cities of India, Mumbai seems to be the most resilient comeback in terms of at least sales which are happening.
You're right, Manisha. Actually, Mumbai is really the only city that has got a reverse demand-supply situation compared to the whole of India, which means their demand still continues to be higher than the supply. The real problem when you see oversupply in Mumbai is only because of one reason and one reason only, that developers do not bring down prices. We've noticed that whenever a developer has brought down the price of a project in his own micro market, say by 5 to 10%, we notice the whole project is literally lapped up in a month to 2 months, and that's the power of the demand of Mumbai at lower price points. It's like the stock market crashing to, say, 9,500 levels now, and you'll see everybody coming in from FIs to domestics to retail at that price point. So same goes for Mumbai. And we would recommend you to consider the Ghorbandar region, because there's a lot of social infrastructure coming up there, and it's going to be the prime area to buy in the Thane region, and it's reasonably well priced. On your Lodha question, Pallava city is a very, very big township that Lodha's got very ambitious plans on. They're going to be laying out all the infrastructure very well. But comparatively, we would like you to consider Ghorbandar Road because it's got multiple developers, multiple projects, and the government focus on developing social infrastructure over there is quite high, and already there is fantastic connectivity and social infrastructure in place in a large way. Coming to the location rating, 7, adequately supplied. It's appreciated by 6% on a year-on-year basis. So that answers my question on the regular continuous demand of this area. 3 projects that you can consider: Bhumi Acres 2 by Bhumi Group. This project is getting ready this year itself. Then we have Ruma Bali 2 by Puranik Builders. This is in Bhayan Parda area in Ghorbandar Road. This project is the cheapest project out of the 3, 7,700 rupees a square foot only. Getting ready next year, available with the developer. And lastly, we have Unnati Woods by Ronak Group. This project is again slightly more expensive, but around the weighted average price of the market, and getting ready this year itself. This project is available on the resale market. Besides, the first 2 were available directly from the developer.
All right, Suman. So there you go. Thane, Pallava, Lodha project. Well, there are better projects if you can just move to Ghorbandar Road, and these are the 3 which are recommended by PropEquity. Bhumi Acres 2 by Bhumi Group, Ruma Bali 2 by Puranik Builders, and Unnati Woods Phase 6 by Ronak Group. And as Samir said, Mumbai is a resilient market. If you're looking at an appreciation, probably it's also a better idea to buy into Ghorbandar Road than Thane. A reminder to you, in case you're watching the show and you have a property question, just send it to us at home@nw18.com. Do leave your contact details, and of course, we'll be back to cover many other markets after a very short break. Welcome back. Well, affordable housing got a big boost from the government as the GST Council in its last meeting reduced the effective GST rate of 8% for houses under PMAY. So before January 25th, houses under construction attracted GST at the rate of 18%. If you included the provision for deducting 1/3 of the house price towards the cost of the land, the effective rate was actually 12%, and that's the one which we're sticking with. Now, this has further been reduced by 400 basis points to 8% for affordable homes. What is important to remember is that the sizes have been prescribed as 30 and 60 square meters. So 60 square meters works out about 640 odd square feet in carpet area, which is pretty big. I mean, if you look at outskirts of Mumbai or any other area. We've been getting a lot of questions on the new GST rate cut, so let's take them up. And we've got Abhishek Rastogi, partner Khetan & Co, joining me to answer those. Abhishek, thank you for making the time to be on the show with us.
Thanks, Manisha.
All right, so we've got our first caller as well. Praveen is on the phone line. Mr. Praveen, hi, go ahead, sir. What's your question?
Hi all. Yeah, Praveen is here from Mumbai. Actually, I bought one home which is carpet area around 610 square feet. And as per new rule, the GST rate is reduced to 8% if I'm eligible for Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana.
Right.
So I'm eligible in both way. I'm apply for CLSS, and my home is under 610 square foot. So how I can take advantage of that reduction of GST?
Abhishek, both. I mean, he should get even that 2.4 lakh subsidy through the MIG home scheme if his income is under 18 lakh rupees. Plus, I think the builder should now only be charging him 8%, isn't it?
Yes, I think he's very right. He should get the benefit. The effective rate has come down to 8%. But the very important point which has to be taken into consideration is that this amendment does not have a retrospective effect. So which means that going forward, because there could be a lot of under construction projects. So, and whatever payments he has made in the past with respect to this under construction project, he will have to pay at a higher rate. The amendment which has come, or the reduction of the rate which has come, is only prospective. So which means that the part of the amount which now he pays from the date after the amendment has come in, he would get the benefit. So he would get the benefit only for those type of contracts where for those types of payments where the milestone kicks in after this date, because that milestone determines the point of taxation of these services. The point of taxation determines whether the rate will be a lower rate or a higher rate.
All right, Praveen, so simply whatever you've already paid to the builder, you can't get it at a lower rate. 12% is fine, but after 25th January, whatever next bill comes from the builder or the next check you have to pay in a construction-linked plan should have 8%, and I don't think the builder is going to fool around with it. The government's very hawk-eyed in terms of any overcharging, and of course, input credit should also be yours. All right, let's get our next caller. Again, a GST question. Ajay from Visakhapatnam joins us. Ajay, go ahead.
Hi. I have my own site and I am constructing on my own. Taken a home loan from bank, so we involved a builder.
Okay.
To have it built for us. So in this case, how much GST do we need to pay for the to the builder? Assuming that we are paying GST already on cement, steel, and whatever input raw materials.
So who's buying the material? The builder is doing the entire construction, just land is yours. Am I right?
Land is mine. Money also is mine. I've taken a home loan, so I'm giving it to the builder.
Wow, this is a tricky question. So he's got a contractor to construct his house. So what is the GST regime in this case, Abhishek?
So interestingly, see, if the builder is procuring even the goods, so which means that he is procuring the goods and he is rendering the services, the nature of the contract becomes a works contract service, wherein the entire amount would be subject to a 12% rate. And of course, the builder can take the benefit of the credits of the procurements of cement, etc., what he does. Unlike if, I was not clear whether he is buying or whether the builder is buying, but as opposed to that situation, if he buys the goods directly from the market and just employs as a labor contract, then the goods would be subjected to the rate at the respective rates. So cement at the rate of the cement, steel at the rate of cement, and so on and so forth. The services which would be rendered by that builder would, there in that case, would not be works contract services. Those services contract would be at a higher rate of 18%. So actually the price of the contract have to be negotiated based on the quantum of the inputs which the builder will get in case of works contract services.
All right. So here's what I'm going to say, Ajay. Just go to a chartered accountant and work this out, because this is a slightly complicated case. But yes, you have to pay 12%, though it's a work contract. So the builder should also be getting input credit for all the things that he's buying to build your home. And it's nice to get a CA service. I mean, CAs are truly in business, isn't it, Abhishek? All right, Sameer Jasuja and Abhishek, thank you. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me. All that I'm going to wrap out on this show by saying is that, look, GST is something that all of us are understanding. Buyers specifically are already on the back foot, standing on the sidelines, not willing to dip into the market. So for the builders, it's really important to win back the trust. Please do pass on all that you can in terms of input credits to the buyer. Let him not feel that he's being cheated, because that only means they're going to be slower in coming back and reviving this residential real estate demand. Thank you very much for joining us. Home at nw18.com. That's how you reach us. Goodbye.